Welcome to the Archie McPhee podcast. I'm David Wall, the director of Awesome. Today I'm joined by Shana Danger, the high priestess of rubber chickens, and Scott Heff, creator of Kitsch, to talk about the opening of the Rubber Chicken Museum at our Archie McPhee store. So, Rubber Chicken Museum, a success. The opening was, at least.
Yep.
Awesome.
So far, so good.
So far, so
It was
good.
a good time.
No disasters.
No. Well, the disasters were small and hilarious.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
We should start at the beginning, though, which
Yes.
for me was Heff signing his kids out of school.
That's the beginning of the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wanted my kids to attend the grand opening of the Rubber Chicken Museum.
Who would not?
Of course.
That was important. So, but in order to get there on time, I had to sign my kids out of school early. One's in kindergarten, one's in first grade, one's in preschool. But when you sign them out, you have to put a reason that you're taking them out. And I could have been generic. I could have said, family business or museum opening. But of course, I wanted to be specific. And, truth is a policy in our household.
Yeah.
So I said grand opening of the Rubber Chicken Museum
Right.
on the thing. So I hope someone got a chuckle out of it.
I was going to say, so my question was, did anyone even look at it?
No. I mean, maybe they did after I left, but no, I don't think anyone.
Right.
I took a picture of it and posted it because I thought it was funny, but I don't know how many people saw it at the school.
It's very official. The other thing that I liked about that whole scenario was when your kids showed up, they were dressed for the Rubber Chicken.
Yes.
You had your Rubber Chicken Museum t-shirt on, but the boys had their various yellow shirts with black pants, I think it was, but at least those yellow shirts that were chicken yellow. So good job with that.
It just so happened that I had, I looked at one and I said, oh, we're going to be going to the museum. Why don't you wear a yellow shirt? And then I ended up having a long sleeve yellow shirt for each one. And so it just kind of worked out. I didn't even think about the pants, but that kind of worked out too. So made for good photos though.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it's like, if you're ever going to an event and you want to be the one that the news photographer takes pictures of, dress for the occasion, and you're going to be the one in the picture. So it was like when we looked at pictures afterwards, we were like, well, that one I have of his kids just looks so good.
Yeah, and I don't know that I even put that much thought into it. It was just like, oh, I'll put them in yellow shirts, it'll be cute. And then it ended up being great. So.
Yeah. And to me, there's always a reason for a costume. I wear, every day something I wear is a costume. So I really appreciate people putting a little extra effort into it. So that's the beginning and how it started. So it only went great from there.
It was, and we had a first person in line.
Yes, an hour and a half early. His name is Steve. And Steve came an hour and a half early and is like, I'm the first in line.
And speaking of costumes.
Yeah. So he was dressed he had this chickeny hat on. It was a fabric chickeny hat covered in different pins and buttons that were chickens, and he had chicken necklaces, and he brought with him, he's so considerate, he brought with him a bag of chicken necklaces. So it's a beaded necklace with a big chicken hanging off of it, probably a 4-inch chicken or something.
Almost like a Mardi Gras necklace.
Right, exactly. And he's like, I buy these by the thousand. So he was giving them out to everyone, and he really made the event even funner. And he had this crazy chicken dance, not the classic chicken dance. He had his own chicken dance. Steve's chicken dance. He even made the TV show, evening show
which was great.
Night
Yeah.
with his chicken dance.
And what a perfect person to be the first person to the museum too. Someone that into it and with that much passion. And Shana, he did give you one great quote.
Yes, yes, Steve. I did hear. He did say, I'm the reason they have a dress code at work, which is, I couldn't believe my luck getting that quote.
In terms of a claim to fame, that's a good one to have.
So good.
I'm the reason that we all have to wear shirts.
Yeah, non-chicken shirts at work.
Non-chicken related shirts at
and
work.
Then, so Steve was the first in line, an hour and a half early. And then about 45 minutes later, another 2 people showed up to be second in line, but they also wanted to shop, so Steve held their spot for them. So I thought once Steve showed up, I was like, okay, we have an event. This is actually going to happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Sounds like he was a nice guy if he's holding places in line for people.
Oh, and he was giving out chicken necklaces.
Yeah,
he was there.
Good.
He was there
that's
to
good.
participate. He wanted to be a part, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of chicken spirit, which was good. And then Mark and Kirk and I showed up too.
Speaking of chicken spirit.
Kirk of the Chicken Ghost fame. who thinks that there are rubber chicken ghosts all over the museum.
And we know there's just the one.
There is
Kirk.
there's just one ghost. But we showed up, looked amazing. I mean, what a beautiful color. So much yellow. The cases looked fantastic. The world's largest rubber chicken was on full display before the ceremony. Balloons from the ceiling.
That's a story for later.
And I also have to say, the line took place outside a velvet rope.
Yes.
And a turnstile.
Oof. Doesn't get better than that.
The turnstile, of course, from Shana's basement.
Yes, the turnstile from the Woodland Park Zoo, our local zoo. My husband works there. They were throwing it out years ago. So it's probably, we've had it in our basement 15 years at least. And then it was thrown out at the zoo another, it was from the zoo. I think they had moved it a couple of times to a couple of different buildings. So it is old. It's a very cool old turnstile. And originally I was kind of annoyed when my husband brought it home. And now I see I was so wrong.
It was destiny.
It was. Oh, God, it was so good.
And I have to say, for one of my kids, I think that was his favorite part because he wasn't feeling great. And so he's wanting me to hold him the whole time.
Yeah.
My youngest. And then we were walking up, and as soon as he saw the turnstile, he's like, "Put me down." Because he wanted to walk through it himself.
Yeah.
So.
And I counted about at least 35 people that day going, "Ooh, a turnstile." and it was a big hit, the turnstile. But people have to be directed to go through it. It's official. You've got to go that way.
And I have to say, and I don't think any of us thought of this in advance, what a great way to tell people where to line up.
Yeah.
No one had to ask. It wasn't like, well, where is this museum? Where does it start? Where
Yeah.
do I stand to be the first person to go through it? It
Yeah.
was so immediately apparent that this
Yeah.
was its own separate little thing. It was that was fantastic.
It was really cool. So we had, a lot of people showed up for this event. I think, definitely a couple of hundred or almost a couple of hundred people showed up just for this event. And we had a giant cake, which we thought, oh, well, I wonder if this cake, how much cake we'll be left with. And of course, we used all the cake. We ran out of forks. We had to go into our own staff kitchen and start washing forks and handing them to people because they want, that cake. And it was good cake.
It was good cake.
It was. And boy, was it something to get that cake, which we talked about last time.
I know.
It was a saga.
It was a saga.
But it was so worth it because it turned out great. And it was Darren, I think it was. Dean or Darren at QFC. Yeah. He was awesome.
Solid.
Yep. Solid. He did us
man.
a solid. And then there were of course packets for the people who all the first people who came to the exhibit got a packet, and the packet had a few items like the bumper sticker, the sticker, the chicken magazine, etc. But David Wall's crowning achievement on this thing, I think, was this idea of a certificate.
A certificate of attendance.
Yeah. So everybody who was there that day at that time got a certificate of attendance, and it's suitable for framing. And it says right on there, it's suitable for framing.
It is. And it is suitable for framing.
And I had a few people say, oh, I will be framing this. That was one of my favorite things, was that certificate. It just... Something about a certificate.
And, we do the certificate of first purchase as well.
Yeah.
So if we put something up on our McPhee.com website and you're the first person to buy it, you get a certificate that says so-and-so is the first person to purchase this new product.
Yeah.
And so it was like, this is your proof. And so this is proof to those people that they were actually there when the museum opened.
Yeah. And the other thing, the certificate you're talking about through mail order is... it really is. There's just one certificate.
There's just one certificate.
It's not like we send it out to the first 100 people and we pretend that it was only one. We really just send it to the one person, and we have a lot of fun with that too.
And people are very charmed by it too.
Yeah.
They tweet it. Like the favorite was the Emily Dickinson air freshener, because the first person to buy it was just so charmed by the fact that they got something as old-fashioned as a certificate, which fits the product so nicely too. That it's like, oh, they've sent me this charming certificate.
Yes.
As well.
It's so cool.
Everybody wants to win something or be awarded something.
Mm-hmm. And the certificate really, and then also it seals the deal. Like it's really official and it's happened. Sort of like a turnstile.
A turnstile.
Yeah.
It makes it an official thing.
Yeah.
I hung mine on my fridge. I'll say that.
Well, it is suitable for framing
I
just
could.
for the future.
It's yet to be framed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I assume
Yeah.
you've got it on the list.
Well, and I just want to tell people too, they can go and watch the opening ceremony
Yeah.
on our website. It'll be on on the page for this podcast, but it will also be. It's all over the place.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
on
see it
Facebook.
on the
And
store
it's
site,
we've got it on YouTube.
store site. Yeah, everywhere you can watch
Yeah.
it. Really delightful. The audience clucking.
Yes. So that was one of the things is as we were doing the ribbon cutting ceremony, a lot of the people had the clucking, the squawking chickens
Yes.
in their hands to squawk in excitement and enthusiasm. But some people didn't. So we
Right.
suggested to them that those who didn't could just go ahead and cluck.
And cluck
So-
they did.
And cluck they did.
In appreciation for all, there was much clucking to be had.
Which just was a whole new thing. It became such a normal thing that there was more clucking than we thought.
There was much more clucking.
Didn't expect so much clucking.
But I had so much positive feedback
Yeah.
from that. One of my friends who didn't tell me he was going went and he sent me a picture of his new rubber chicken socks and
Oh.
asked if we had ever thought about having people spend the night in the rubber chicken museum.
Yeah.
Much like the Night at the Museum movies.
Yeah. Which would be it would be a really fun thing to offer. A night alone at Archie McPhee, that would be really strange.
Yeah, but there's that ghost chicken.
Yeah, well, it's not for the faint of heart, Heff.
It is not for Heff.
Just let it be known, Heff is of the faint of heart.
I'm afraid of ghosts.
You were afraid of a poodle with a panda head.
Someone in the office. I was the last one to leave the building. That's always a little scary for me. And whoever was second to last left. We have this giant pink poodle, and we have an old giant panda head that went to a costume, and he put the panda head on the poodle and then put it down the hallway. So when I went to the bathroom towards the end of the day, I was the only one there. This thing was just staring at me down the hallway, and it got me really
so
good.
good. It's so perfect for you. Like, you're the perfect person to scare with that. And I am often the last one with you. And that
True.
day I was out sick because
Yeah.
I really, did it. I was all done in from the rubber chicken museum.
You overdid it.
Yeah, you overdid it a little bit. And so that's a really funny outcome that's still connected back to the rubber chicken museum opening on some level.
Yeah.
Do you usually make an announcement if you're the last one in the building?
I do. I was told to because
Yeah.
just to make sure no one is in the building. So I do a page throughout the whole building that says, "Hey, I'm locking the door. I'm setting the alarm. So if anyone's in the building, come to the time clock because I'm about to close everything up."
But
And I know what you're getting at here.
there's an addition. He always has an additional announcement.
That's what everyone else says.
That's what everyone else says. I have an addendum. So
Sometimes he requests that I do the addendum.
here's the thing. If there's ghosts in the building, my theory is they operate kind of like vampires, where if they can't do much unless they're invited to.
Hmm. You said that about clowns earlier today too, by the way.
Well, it's a strong theory. I don't like the idea of inviting these things into my life. So the ghost thing is, so I say anyone in the building come up to the front. But I don't want the ghost to think I'm inviting them up to the front and they can come do whatever they want with me.
It's not a blanket invitation.
So I generally have a disclaimer where I say, everyone in the building come up to the front, except for any and all ghosts. Do not. You're not invited.
So it rings through the warehouse walls. No ghosts.
So
come
I
to
say
the
that,
front.
or Shana says it, and even if I'm alone, I usually say it, or I just skip the whole announcement and just run out the door screaming.
And lock whichever employees are still left in the
This is-
bathroom up.
Yes.
This is my vision of you making that announcement is you make the initial announcement and all of these ghosts rise up and
Yep.
start moving to the front
Yeah.
and then they go accept ghosts and they all are like,
Mm.
oh.
Their
And then
ears
they-
perk up.
and then they just sink back into the ground.
Yes. That's what I imagine as well. So
And the other thing is too, you always hang up really quick too. You,
Oh, do
you
I?
say the thing, then you just slam the phone down like, I gotta get out of here.
And I've never told Heff this, but our building is built on a clown burial ground.
Just don't invite them and it'll be fine.
It's 100-year-old abandoned clown burial ground
Yeah.
where all the clowns would come to be buried. So their spirits are under the building, Just waiting.
I don't bug them. They don't bug me. Let's just stay out of each other's way. They can be here. I'm not going to invite you to be with me. I'm not going to come try and mess with you. Let's just leave each other in peace.
It's a good resolution for all concerned.
Yeah. So
I wonder when they bury clowns in costume if they ever have trouble closing the top of the coffin because of the shoes.
Yeah. Plus, it always squeaks closed.
Yeah. Squeak. That would be weird too if like you were burying it. You'd probably put the horn in the hand.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway,
those shoes would have to just bend.
Ew.
They would just bend back. But there's just
or
shoes. There's no feet. Feet don't bend. Just the shoes. I think. I don't know. What do they do in a clown car with those big shoes?
Well, that's the mystery of the clown car, isn't it?
I guess so.
It's more than just the shoes.
All right. Now I have to see if I can get a recording of Heff doing the announcement at the end of the day.
Oh, good idea. Make it official.
I will say this real quick. It's been 100% effective so far.
Which I like that.
Laugh all you want.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah. We sure look like dummies now.
No ghosts.
No ghosts.
No ghosts.
But anyway, so the opening we mentioned. We did.
So the opening.
Well, we did mention that the balloons over the top and.
Well, so there's a whole thing that went on. So there was an announcement. You and I did an announcement. There was a lot of clucking involved. We had the ribbon cutting to do.
Yes. Which
special thanks to Steve for helping with that.
Yes.
And then, and I had the novelty giant scissors, of course, to cut the ribbon with. And
of course you did.
Yes. And as soon as because we leave no stone unturned. When I went to cut the ribbon, I cut the ribbon. That went fine, sort of. And then the next part is that the balloon drop was supposed to happen. We had 100 or so yellow balloons that were going to fall on us in a cavalcade of madness. And
I can picture it now.
Yeah, I could picture it too, but I didn't.
We're still imagining it happening.
Yeah, I still haven't witnessed that because something else happened instead.
Which is the bag did not open. So
the bag just.
So an amorphous yellow blob full of balloons fell down upon us.
Just fell. The whole bag of 100 balloons just fell on us.
It was glorious.
It was one bag of 100 rather than 100 balloons. I guess that I had pictured it a little differently. And
then helpful people started ripping the bag open.
Yeah,
so
the bag, we ripped the bag open. We started throwing the balloons around. So that was a funny little disaster, which was kind of funny.
Yeah,
for a variety of reasons, but it all worked out, and it's really hilarious to watch the Facebook Live and listen to it because you hear everybody cheering when they see the balloon thing's about to happen and the ribbon's been cut, and then just riotous laughter when the whole thing just falls on us. That was really funny.
Good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which kind of fits the museum too, so I can't complain at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and then somebody yelled out, "It laid an egg!" It's like, there you go.
It did indeed.
And then the other thing that I really enjoyed about the opening was there really was a backup to get into the museum itself, to go through the turnstile, because people got really engaged in reading David Wall's beautifully written museum cards, because every chicken has a little story about it. And this friend of mine said at first he was in line wondering what was taking the people in the front of the line so long. It's just a bunch of chickens, just go through. And then he said he got in there and he just started really getting caught up in reading the histories, and he realized he was backing up the line. And we had several people say they were coming back, and we did have people come back the next day to read the cards because they didn't get a chance because of the crowd.
Yeah, which is so wonderful. And I actually am looking forward to, I said this to Shana just yesterday, I'm looking forward to the first child that writes a report on the Rubber Chicken Museum.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to be one of those things where it's like the research is done. They can have great pictures. They can say, I went to a museum. It's going to be really, really hilarious.
Yeah.
Because that's when we enter into the realm of, we can be cited.
Yeah.
And other things.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be one of my kids.
Oh! The other thing that I really enjoyed about that museum opening is that, so we have the world's biggest, largest
Yes.
rubber chicken.
Yeah.
And that's a great photo op. So you've got to have your photo taken with it. But if you recall, Kirk Damaris was really caught up on this idea of licking the chicken.
Which I posted a picture of it on the
And
last website.
we
or
let
last
him do it.
podcast.
I let him do it.
I know.
I hope he's the only one who does it.
Ever.
Yeah.
And
Even I haven't done it.
we did sterilize it. Just don't be afraid.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kids that have done it just not knowing it was a thing, but they're just lick the chicken.
Would it be your kids?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it easily could be. I don't think any of them did that day.
Mm.
I'm not promising anything for the future.
Uh-huh.
They tend to lick things. That's all.
I like that was just Kirk's first thing, though.
Yeah.
He
Mhm.
just wanted to lick the chicken. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Good on it. But really just a fun event. And I rarely have I seen so many smiling people do it and not disappointed.
Yeah, which was really cool. I wondered if people would just think, but actually people seemed really impressed and excited by the museum and really surprised themselves with how interested they were in the actual contents of it.
Well, I have to say, I got there at the same time as some other people that arrived, and they weren't coming for the opening of the Rubber Chicken Museum.
Yeah.
They were just coming to Archie McPhee for the day. I don't know if they were out of towners or what, but they got there, and so then they were just handed these packets, and it was just like, "What's going on?" Wait, and someone's like, "Oh, it's the opening of our Rubber Chicken Museum," and they're like, "Okay," and so they weren't there for that.
That would
and
be
then, but
Leah.
they got there just in time for like the ribbon cutting and everything. Yes, Leah. And then I overheard them later on just being like, exclaiming like, "How great was this? We just stumbled in here."
Yeah.
Like randomly, and then we just randomly hit it at like the perfect time. Like everything in the universe just came together for these people to just have this like weird, surreal experience of walking into a store, and it's the opening of a rubber chicken museum. There's a giant rubber
It
chicken.
just must be the
It's
best.
just
The
like,
best.
what world
It's
are we living
completely
in?
out of the context of the rest of their lives.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
How
Like,
will they explain this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then
But
we went and
And I had the actual opposite happen. There was a couple of people who came because they saw the sign for and heard about the Rubber Chicken Museum. So they just came in, walked through the museum, and after they came back around the corner through the exit, they said, "What is this store?" I said, "This is Archie McPhee. We have 10,000 items." And they're like, "Oh, we were here for the Rubber Chicken Museum."
Like, this is a huge gift shop
Yeah.
for the Rubber Chicken
It is a
Museum.
gift shop for the Rubber Chicken Museum. And we
the
have
gift shop is actually larger than the museum.
Yeah, the ratio
Yes.
to gift shop to museum.
It's
that's
off.
one hell of a rubber chicken gift shop, let me tell you. And that's another fun little nugget we have is those signs that say exit through the Rubber Chicken gift shop.
Yes.
They're super cute.
Yeah.
I also have to plug, there was the Facebook Live video,
Yes.
but we also did another video
Right.
that was footage. It includes some of the ribbon cutting, but it's also just some of the after and people getting their pictures taken with
Yeah.
the chicken. And the reason I want to plug it is because there was an hour of footage that I edited down to 6 minutes. And Chris Hope did a great job. He got lots of footage, but I had to go through that thing and find, these cute little key moments and edit it down to 6 minutes. So don't have all that work be for naught. Please watch the Rubber Chicken Museum opening
And appreciate the edit.
video.
I will-
Yes.
I will make that the first thing in the post about this podcast will be that video.
Yes,
Just
thank you.
Watch this for Heff.
Please
I'll
do
just
it
put
for
that
Heff.
right above it.
Don't make his work be for
And-
nothing.
It's
it was-
really beautiful footage too.
It is, and it was really fun for me to watch it because, of course, my perspective was fully the Facebook Live one. So I got to see a lot more of what was going on in the store,
Mhm.
including my friend Bruce, who brought his dog Sugar. So
Yes.
Sugar, hey, shout out, hey, Sugar.
Hey, Sugar.
Sugar had a
Nice.
good time.
I know. It was nice. My wife came too. Pepper
Yes.
came, which was great.
Yeah.
And that was a fun.
A lot of family stuff.
a lot of
and-
family stuff.
I loved that people in general just had this sense of this is completely silly, but actually really cool. They got both parts of it. Like, it's not just stupid, it's fun and silly, but really cool and interesting. And there was a lot of work put into it and a lot of thought put into it. So
Yeah.
it's got a value to it other than just being novel.
It is not insubstantial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It tread that perfect line. That's my favorite that's my favorite thing kind of about working here in this industry is that we do such silliness.
Yeah.
But like treating it with some seriousness. So like when I take photos of products, I like to kind of do like an artsy shot or something where I'm treating the subject matter, even though it's ridiculous, pretty seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this just did perfectly. It's like this kind of ridiculous thing, but like we put a lot of work into it and like did a really good job with it. And so it's kind of this like serious and silly thing. And it's just the perfect mix of those.
And as we said last time, it's a bunch of different people putting a lot of effort into it. So it's kind of unexpected because it's different than if one person had just put a lot of effort into it. Because a lot of those kind of small museums are one person's passion for something. And this one was, however many, 25 people's passion for this thing. So, one person made the world's smallest rubber chicken. Someone else made the world's largest rubber chicken. Yeah. So
Kurt did the beautiful logo.
Kurt did the logo, which I have to say is a very funny logo.
I love that logo so much.
As Kurt said, it's very difficult to work with because it's shaped like a chicken.
It's very horizontal and long.
But it's also bizarre and hilarious at the same time.
It's a good logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So success. It was very much fun.
Yeah. Really, really happy. And it's so great to have it for the summer season and just get us into the rest of the year. And just more items are coming also, which is another really exciting thing is that this isn't the end of the museum.
This is not the end of the museum.
No. There's going to be more items like the rubber chicken bandages will be in there soon, and some other items, and I don't know. It's just we've got a lot.
No, I know. We have.
That's what I was hesitating. Like I don't want to say some of these other things.
Let's just say, rubber chickens are coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
People that you wouldn't expect have had rubber chickens impact their lives.
Yeah.
And they want to share those rubber chickens with the museum so that they have a permanent place. So even though we do have a rubber chicken that's a memorial for someone already there, these are some pretty important stuff. Like it's real things.
Important.
And rubber chickens have made a difference in people's
lives.
They have.
They really have. And the other thing we should mention too is the Room 6 exhibit, which is the other section of it, which is this rotating exhibit from the Mark's Secret Room 6 that's in the warehouse that most people don't get to see. There are items coming out and going into the Room 6 exhibit, and then we're going to rotate that exhibit. So other things will come. So even if you've seen the rubber chicken exhibit, you still haven't seen everything because Room 6 will keep going and going and going.
Oh, I wanted to bring up one other new product that's coming in this week, or probably will be here by the time this podcast is out, which is the Magic Cat notebooks, because we have been talking about Magic Cats for 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
And so this set of 3 notebooks is the first thing in our Magic Cats line. Alley Cat Zam is on here, Meowlin. And one thing I particularly wanted to draw the attention of, they're just little notebooks, the same kind that usually come with the paper band around it that you see in stores. The one thing I wanted to add to this is I wrote cat spells.
Oh, yes.
For the inside of the notebooks, which you don't see, and they're not even mentioned on the outside of the package. But if you do buy them, they have little Harry Potter-esque cat spells in the inside.
Which this might help with the ghosts as well.
It could.
Yeah, especially if they're cat ghosts. Ghosts of cats.
Mm-hmm.
Cat ghosts.
Yeah, so let's hear a spell.
Oh, well, just persona ignoria. Erase a human from existence by not acknowledging them. Eventually they will reappear with food.
That is very cat-like.
Counter ghost. Since the humans have banned you from the kitchen counter, casting a spell will make you invisible to them. It will... If it appears the spell is wearing off, immediately jump off the kitchen counter and deny ever being there.
Yeah.
So just little spells like that. Little cat spells. But anyway. So
featuring one of the Magic Cats is a hairless cat, which some people love and some people not so much. Kurt
does not like them. I happen to like them, even though I think petting them sounds like patting your own thigh. Like it's got kind of a meaty to it.
Oh.
smell? Someone said they had an odd smell.
I heard that they smelled like cheese.
Oh. So,
I've never seen one in real life.
the Sphinx cats?
Oh,
I've heard they're very nice.
They were so sweet.
They're
Good personality.
so sweet. I didn't know how sweet they were until I met two at the same time, and they were the sweetest, loveliest kitties with their, and they're not just their skin, but they're an odd shape. They're kind of big booty and kind of.
They have to have a good personality to make up for
their cheese smell,
Their skin,
their hairlessness,
their magicness.
We should also say that a clothing store for hairless cats is one of our customers of our wholesale division, Nudie Patooties.
That's right.
So if you have a hairless cat, shop at Nudie Patooties because they're an Archie McPhee customer. Your hairless cat needs a cat bonnet.
And also the notebooks have your favorite magical item on them. They feature it's the bubble with the goldfish in it.
Yeah, that's one of our continuing themes through all of our fairylands is a bubble with a goldfish in it, which I think they include at this point just to please me.
Yep.
Because it makes me so happy every
time
I see it.
And it makes me happy because I know you're going to be happy every time. So I love that.
I keep my eyes open for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Scott King always adds it for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I want to thank everyone for listening, except ghosts.
Like and rate us. No ghosts. No ghost ratings.
For more information about products mentioned in today's podcast, go to McPhee.com. That's MCPHEE.com. For more information about our Seattle store, go to ArchieMcPheeSeattle.com. Thanks for listening.